Hello grade 6 clarinets. So this is our lesson on March Across the Seas. So this is from the Traditions of Excellence book and it's on page 20, and if you have a little look at it now, March Across the Seas, you can see that it's the longest piece that we've played out of this book so far. It's the first kind of proper piece of music, I guess, that we're going to look at from this book at least. So there's quite a lot of things in this, but there's nothing that you guys shouldn't be able to do because we've learnt all these notes, we know all these rhythms, we know what all the things on the music mean. So we're going to go through it section by section, but first of all, let's do a little warm-up. So for us, this is in the key of concert B flat, which means for us on clarinet, it's in the key of C. And the range of this, it goes from note 1, C, all the way up to note 6, so it's not a huge range, so we're going to be playing these notes. So that's C, D, E, F, G, A, and then back down again. So for our warm-up, let's play that short part of the scale, and we're going to play it with one note on each measure. My metronome is set to 75 beats per minute, which is what we're going to try and play this piece at to start with. So I'll just set my metronome off. You guys get ready on your C. And we're trying to move from one note to the other nice and smoothly and on the beat. Here we go. Start on the A, and we're going to go back down the way that we came up. 3, 4. Right, let's have a look at March Across the Sea now that we've had a little bit of a play to warm up. We can see it's labelled, it's got a few little labels over sections of this. Above the very start it says introduction, at bar 5 it says first theme, at bar 15 it says second theme, at bar 23 it says first theme again, and then at the end it says closing in the last 4 bars. So those are the sections that we're going to look at. Introduction, pretty self-explanatory, it just means it's the start of the piece. We've got 4 bars, and then at bar 5 the first theme comes in. Theme is just a fancy word for tune, so in this piece there's 2 separate tunes. There's theme 1 and there's theme 2. Okay, we can see if we look at the dynamics, starts off loud, the first theme is then mezzo forte, moderately loud, the second theme is piano, so we're going to play it softly when we get to the second theme, and then when the first theme comes back in again at bar 23, we're back to forte. Right, I'm going to play the first 4 bars, so this is the introduction, this is what it should sound like. I'm looking for a nice clear articulation on these notes. There's no slurs in this, apart from in bar 22, where we slur from the C to the B, but every other note should be clearly tongued. Here we go, the introduction. So just quarter notes and half notes in the introduction. Look out for that rest in bar 4. So we have quarter note, rest, half note. Right, moving on to bar 5. This is the theme. This is the first tune, if you like. This is the first time the tune appears in the piece. So I'm going to play from bar 5 to bar 12. If you look at bar 11 and 12, you can see it has a first time bar bracket over the top of it. That means obviously that we're going to then repeat back to bar 5. But to start off, I'm going to play bar 5 to bar 12. So what would happen then is we would go back to bar 5, we would play the same thing again, but this time when we get to bar 11, we're going to jump straight to the second time bar, which is bar 13, and we're going to play bar 13 and 14. So this time I'm going to play the repeat. I'm starting at bar 5 and I'm playing up to bar 14. 2, 3, 4. So you've got to remember to go to the second time bar when you do that repeat. Right, so now we're up to bar 15. This is where the second theme comes in, or the second tune, if you like. And we can see it starts on our B. Remember, we're playing a B natural. And it's piano, so we're going to try and play this a little bit softer if we can. So this is bar 15 to bar 23. Just have a listen first. So we can hear there that bar 19, bar 20, bar 21 all have a different dynamic marking. Bar 19 is piano, the next bar is mezzo piano, the next bar is mezzo forte. So in other words, each bar is slightly louder than the one before. Okay, so let's move on. Bar 23, it says first theme again. But if you look at the music, you can see that we're not actually playing the same as we played at bar 5. That's because another instrument has got the tune at that point. So it might be the trumpets, or it might be the saxophones, but the clarinet is just playing an accompanying role during this second repeat of the first theme. So I'm going to play from bar 23 to bar 28. Rest, rest, rest. 24, rest, 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 rest. So we've got to really count those rests carefully there. We're playing on the first beat of bar 23 and the last beat of bar 24. So we need to make sure that we know exactly where we are in the bar each time. And then finally, we've got the last 4 bars, which is called the closing here. So this is neither first theme or second theme. It's just a nice tidy end to the piece. And for us, you can see it's starting on a G and it's going down the scale, and then E, C. And all these notes are accented, so we're going to try and attack these notes a little bit more with our tongue. The dynamic here is forte, so we're going to be playing loud and strong articulation to make these notes really pop out. So this is bar 29. So last bar, very clearly the end. We're playing on the first beat and on the third beat. Make sure we don't hold on that last note longer than it's written, because it is just a quarter note. Okay, so that's all the bits. Now what I would suggest you do when you practice this is try and practice it section at a time. So maybe just practice the first 4 bars the first time you practice, and then next time maybe try and learn the first theme, and then next time try and learn the second theme, then maybe try and put those 2 bits together, and then maybe have a look at the closing. But you don't have to try and do it all in one go, and you certainly don't want to practice it every time from the beginning, because then you end up just practicing the beginning and you never get to the end. Right, I'm going to finish the lesson by playing it at 100 beats per minute all the way through. This is what Mr. Callan wants you to be able to do for your playing assignment. So I don't expect you'll be able to do this straight away, but if you do what I've said and you practice the bit slowly, then you'll be able to do it in hopefully a week or two. So I'm just going to increase the speed of my metronome to 100. And I'm going to play all the way through with all the repeats in, so see if you can follow it through. Think about the first and second time bars, listen to the dynamics. Here we go. So that's it all the way through from the start to the end with all the repeats in at 100 BPM, which should be your goal. But don't panic if that sounds a bit hard. Like I said, you've got a couple of weeks to learn it and plenty of little tips there to practice the individual sections. Okay, see you next time. Good luck.